We normally have 3 meetups every quarter. Our first meetup for the programmable banking community is around our what we have planned for that quarter, what was built in the last quarter, and Wayne and the Investec team guys tend to talk about the cool things that they're busy building, get your feedback on things, and kind of let you know what the plan is for the next quarter. Then our second meetup, so the meetup that we're in today, is basically around the ideation. So we get to play around with some cool ideas. We meet some cool people. It's just a little more fun, a little more expressive sort of space, so you can see what we can do and play around with. And then our third meetups of the year tends to be the third meetup of the quarter, sorry, tends to be around the demos, and we demo what was built in that quarter. But at every one of these meetups, we tend to have a demo, so that's pretty important. But we do record these demos. So guys, we record these demos so that other people within the community, within the members, can then see what was happening at the meetups, and it's just a learning sort of space for the guys. If I haven't had the chance to meet you, please feel free to say hi. Yeah, it's cool. In the chat, wherever you want. My name is Nick Benson. I'm the the community manager for the programmable banking community. So that's really, I support you guys in building value within the community. I'm ex-civil service, did propaganda for a number of years. I did banking and corporate sort of propaganda for a number of years too. I did startups. I'm a self-taught sort of coder, so that's my space. Cool. Any questions, guys? Anyone new who would like to say hi? You're good? Cool. Let's get into it then. So for our agenda for tonight, it's just an ideation. We're going to start off with the little whole ideation fun. We'll break out into rooms. We'll meet some cool people. We'll play around with some cool ideas of what we can do with the API. Then Milan and Lofty and Peter have been building out this really cool thing, and I don't want to steal any thunder away from them because it's really cool. But I'm really excited about it, and I think you guys will be too. And then, of course, I'll give you guys a quick brief on our plan for the board event or the whole hackathon for this quarter, if that's cool. And then, of course, there's lots of prizes and gifts and the whole thing and swag to give away tonight. So yeah, cool. Any questions? Anything you guys want to know before we get started? All good? Yeah, cool. Any reactions? Yeah, awesome. For ideation, our session, I'll walk you through now what we're going to be doing tonight, so it's not too much of a thing. What we're going to be doing is just having a bit of fun, essentially. Just have a bit of fun, meet a few people, have a bit of cool time. We're going to break out into some breakaway rooms for about 30 minutes to work on a problem together. So problem, solution, benefits on a Miro board. I've shared the Miro boards with you guys ahead of time. But all the instructions are also on the Miro boards. You'll get access to it when we break out into the breakout rooms that you'll see. So everything's there and the instructions are there. But there will be some guys in the breakout rooms who will be able to assist. And if there's any problems, there's a little button on the side that says call help, and we'll pop in also. Then when we're done with that 30 minutes, we'll just present back to the community, back to the group, essentially, just for 2 minutes each. Just quick, what was the problem? What was the solution? That sort of thing. So how do we ideate? Well, how do you do this, essentially? Well, we suggest, yay, someone used the heavy thing. Cool, awesome. So sorry, I got distracted there. Pretty flying buttons. So what we suggest for the 30 minutes is spend 2 to 3 minutes just having a chat with people. Decide who's going to present it back to the group. Who's going to keep time. There is going to be a time, a little timer at the bottom of your screen to keep track. But if you want, the presenter can keep track of also to kind of keep the guys steady. And then spend about 20 minutes just chatting about what is the problem, what is the solution, what is the benefit of what a company can do to make life more easier for themselves or help their whole clientele or someone else by using a transfer API. and then vote for your favorite solution if you haven't got one immediately. And then maybe spend 5 minutes just figuring out what is a version 1 sort of hack of it. It doesn't need to be a big thing. It doesn't need to be a huge thing. Just saying, right, a version 1 of this would be, we do this sheet, it does that, it does this, and it produces this. That's a version 1. Pretty simple, pretty quick. The main thing that what we're looking for is just having a bit of fun, just thinking about things, just meeting other people. It doesn't need to be big and flashy and everything else about that. So when we're done with that, we'll then come back to the group after about 30 minutes. And then we'll vote on what ideas that we really liked, essentially. So whatever you like, we're not going to have a strict code about it. So just we'll do a poll. The most poll votes wins, so make it fun. And then the winning group will win some exclusive swag. So there's some swag that we've been making that's exclusively for the community. So while Opposend swag is really cool, the exclusive community swag you will hate because you guys will be the first to get it. So yeah, that's it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, right? Yeah. Aretha, are we going to divide up, or you? Any questions? Anything that you guys might have a whole question about?
Can we vote for ourselves?
Yes, you can vote for yourself. Fully subjective. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. You can vote for yourself. You can vote for your mate. I did make it 1 vote each. I was toying with the idea of making a multi, as many as you want, but I thought maybe just 1 vote kind of just makes it more easier. So yeah, you can vote for yourself. Cool. Any other questions, things? You guys good? Cool. 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 Ready to go. Awesome. So you're going to see a quick pop-up that's going to come up that says if you can join a whole breakout room, you can join the whole breakout room, and it will lead you directly to the mirror board. So you can take a look there. There you go. And we'll come back in 30 minutes, which is pretty cool. Good luck, guys.
Which is pretty exciting. And we basically, we're keen to build something, playing around with it. And I can't remember exactly how it happened, but Peter, if you guys don't know, he's the CFO of Luno. So he's got a finance background, but he knows quite a lot about kind of finances and crypto and stuff. And sort of Peter's world, everything happens in spreadsheets, basically. Entire... I'd imagine even wars are kind of managed over spreadsheet, because companies certainly are. So everything sort of happens in freaking spreadsheets. That is a confirmation. And so we're okay, that just trying to sort of connect up to spreadsheets might open up some interesting applications. And the one problem I faced is my spreadsheet of choice. Well, the only one really that I use is pivot tables. We'll get to that. That was definitely the hardest part. You're joking, and we had a 3-hour frigging pivot table debugging in this thing. It was it was so rough. But so I generally like Google Sheets, and they've got Google Apps Script, which is a JavaScript based kind of macro language, if you will. And then I don't know if you guys know, I actually just saw now I'm wearing this shirt, that this is a joke shirt. If you don't know, this is definitely referring to JavaScript. And I was a key contributor to this shirt because I just find JavaScript insanely confusing. So it was not a joke for me. So given massive confusion on JavaScript, we fortunately managed to convince Lofty to join us, who actually knows what he's doing in JavaScript. And he, 80% of the time, he can tell you what this means in a given context, which is basically 80% more than me. So, okay, so we all set off, and the main problem statement was making it understandable to non-technical people. It was for the JSON SA conference. that we designed. I think so. I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm not wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was for Jason. So the main idea was to basically make programmable banking understandable. There was also something from Davina, who heads up the project. So every sort of week, she has some senior person at Investec basically asking her, what on earth is the point of this thing? And they all tend to be finance people, so understand spreadsheets, not really APIs. So she was like very excited when we were like, hey, we'll make it into a spreadsheet. And the main idea was basically to kind of explore that really quickly. And it's a bit of a stretch to say like they all use Google Sheets. Like the more startup peeps tend to use Google Sheets, the other guys use Excel. But like a quick cursory internet search verified that Microsoft have abandoned VB macros, and you can now you've got like a JavaScript macro framework for Excel. So I was like, yes, this will transfer. So we were off to the races. And what we did, which is like worked surprisingly well, is we set out sort of half a day. I think we started about 12. Is that right, Aretha? So and we basically worked on it till about 6 o'clock. So we basically said, okay, cool. What can we do in that time? And the really, really cool thing we found out with spreadsheets is you can prototype like crazy fast. So you'll see in the board on the bottom right, that's me and Peter. We kind of had an idea. We'd like mock it up in the spreadsheet, put it on the board, kind of write the interaction diagram, do another round. And that worked surprisingly well. So from a prototyping point of view, I can really recommend spreadsheets. Not so much on the UI, but great UX, great prototyping. So basically, our kind of R&D loop or development loop was mock-up screen, very quickly paste it on board, try and write the backing JavaScript for it, and then regroup an hour later and do the next thing. And that worked surprisingly well. We moved surprisingly fast. To a large degree, thanks to Lofty. He might have been faster if he wasn't fixing my bugs, but we got there in the end. And so the main idea that we wanted to do, I'm hoping I can explain it, is I wanted, like the way we thought about it is like having your main account, well, I call it main account, like the account your card is tied to always have like a reasonable amount of money in, but not too much, because A, that's scary, and B, bad interest. And on the other hand, not too little. So kind of, your card doesn't work at a shop. So that was kind of the idea. Instead of having to transfer that around, my original idea was, you just set a target amount and then it balances. And it took about 5 minutes for Peter to explain to me why that does not solve the problem. So especially in a business context, he's like, look, so how business works, I should probably know this, is like there's payroll at the end of the month. Then you need a lot of money in the account on that day. And then at the start, you don't. So we very quickly realized, like, okay, basically the amount you need changes over time. And it took us a few spreadsheet mock-up iterations to get to something which I think actually solved it quite elegantly. I definitely can't take credit for the answer, but I do like it. So I'll show that to you guys. So that was the basic idea. Was we realized, okay, the idea of the right amount of money in an account changes over a month. And then Aretha chipped in and explained, like, that's kind of true for being just a normal person as well, which made a lot of sense when we thought about it. Like, you've got a debit order at the start of a month, maybe, or debit orders. So the kind of amount of money that you need in your account changes over a month as well. And generally, when we did a poll, we realized, we all actually kind of understand what that amount should be. Okay, so that was the plan, fast iterations, what happened. I'll just share the link afterwards if you want to get a copy of the code. The reason I'm starting with this is to go, this is the kind of code your mom warned you about when you're growing up, or she should have warned you about. So just like have a look at it. It was built in half a day to prove a concept. It does sort of work. I have been running it for a few weeks now, and my account balance is staying in the line. I haven't yet lost money, and it can only transfer internally. Peter too, but just be wary of this if you're going to use it. just have a quick scan through the JavaScript before you go nuts. It is certainly not, this is POC level. This is not hardened. Okay, so basically what the code does is there's a bunch of sheets. We create a sheet for every account in your profile. So this is an example of Shanna's test account. And you basically pull all of the account transactions in the one view. So it's one thing is you get just like a account pull, and you can see running balance and a bunch of things. Then behind that, there is a app script, which I'll show you guys just now, sort of how that links in. And that's kind of interacting with both the spreadsheet and with Investic at the back end. And then there, next to account view, there's treasury rules. So that is where you set optimal balance. So if you look at can you guys see that graph? Sort of on the middle, kind of straight in the middle. That's basically saying this is the lower and the upper limit of balance to keep in that account at any given time. So you literally just set it in the spreadsheet, like 200 and 300 Rand at the start of the month, and then it drops to 100 and 200. And so for each day, you can set a minimum and a maximum. You just do that, and then you just connect it up to a treasury account. That's like the parent account. So like you just literally you enter the treasury account number in C14, and what it then does is if there's too much money in this account, it moves the excess money to the treasury account, and if there's too little, it pulls money from it. So it sort of just auto stabilizes on that kind of line that you provide. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, so super simple. The kind of how it works, by far the hardest part of this was spreadsheeting. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay, cool. My turn. With the minimum balance, does it take out of treasury into your account if you've breached the minimum?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
So it does bidirectional. So either excess or minimum. And what it does is it resets. So anywhere in the zone, it's happy. But when it pulls money from the treasury back in, it always shifts you to the middle. So it kind of resets you to the middle of your safe zone, and then lets you kind of, walk in that safe zone until you go out, and then it locks you back to the middle. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. So just sort of how it works, if you're looking at the file, the Google Sheet file actually contains two things, one of which is hidden. The one sort of obvious explicit thing is there's a spreadsheet file, which you can see, and there's like a spreadsheet, and you can do things to it. But it actually also contains an embedded JavaScript thing that you can only access if you go through the editor, which I'll show you just now. But just note, these things are tied together in the same file. The one part's just hidden. And how it works, that embedded JavaScript has got a link to the sheets using kind of, there's a Google library to manipulate sheet functions. And then it does outbound calls to Investic. So as I said, the security model on this thing is amazing. You literally enter your API credentials in a spreadsheet. It pulls it from there and uses that to auth. You guys are all developers, so note this. This is not something you want to share around. Yes, Wayne, good one. Wayne knows exactly what we did. He told me we can do it as long as we don't ever share it with anyone. Okay, so that's how it works. And then just to explain some of the bits, if you're poking at it, that you might find interesting. So I also realized presentations are really bad for explaining code. Like PowerPoint is not good for code. The one example of kind of like how you interact with the spreadsheet is this get API settings that pulls it from the sheet. So Google's object there is spreadsheet app, and that kind of lets you kind of like link to the current spreadsheet. So that's just one aspect of it. Then there's a bunch of very strange, what you see, normal spreadsheet or normal sort of spreadsheet type logic and functions. A lot of that has to do with the fact that this thing auto-generates sheets for you. So it connects to the API, gets a list of all of your accounts. For each account, generates a bunch of sheets. and it then has to cross-reference those. So it pulls all of your transactions at one, references that in a view sheet, references that in the treasury sheet. But these sheets don't exist yet. So this took us a while to realize, but we need references between sheets that don't yet exist. So if you see things like is number now, indirect, blah, 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 cell address A1, that is a massive hack to make references between sheets that don't exist yet. When I proposed this, Peter first laughed at me a lot, then cried a little bit, and then finally relented and admitted that that is sort of the only sane solution. But just if you're wondering, it works. Yeah, sorry. It's amazing how well it works here, and we definitely could not think of an alternative, because you literally need references between sheets that don't exist. And then copy that, template it over, and reset reference. So if anyone's got a better plan. So there's some pretty funky things in there, but yeah, it's all on the same sheet. But that's the thing. So I think more fun, if you guys want to laugh, let's see if we can actually get this going. Okay, so yeah, you should all be seeing this. So I'll share a link later, and you can set this up. Like literally, you type in a client ID and a secret in there, and you're off to the races. These images are hacked. They're actually buttons. So you can actually have an image and assign a script to it. Very, very cool. And that actually runs whatever JavaScript function in the embedded code you've got. So for example, if I click update transactions, you'll see it starts running a thing it invokes the that specific function in the embedded JavaScript in some kind of a equivalent of like an AWS Lambda-esque. They've got some of their own little execution engine, and then it's done. So let me just jump to an account view. So this is Nick's got a test account for the community that we're using. We're not actually just taking Nick's personal money. Don't worry, we know what that means. So this is the account view. Basically, you've got all of your transaction history, and you can set in the code how far back it pulls. You'll see where that works. The indirect stuff is happening over here in the raw data. And all of these sheets are being created off an account list. So you've got this account list here that gets pulled, and then you can tick box which you want to enable for spreadsheet banking. And what that then does, it takes the template sheet and generates instances of the view, the treasury rules for each specified account, and also a kind of a hidden one where the sheet just dumps the raw data. It got pretty dodgy when we had the script dumping raw data in the view sheet. So we realized splitting them out created for much more sanity. So if you're wondering what the third sheet's for, sanity of splitting out data. So that's the high level. What we should see, so I'm going to go to treasury rules for that account, just to give you guys a kind of a demo. So here we are. I just ran it earlier, so it sort of put my balance at 350 right in the middle of my point. But just for demo purposes, let's say change this to 300 only on that day, then I'm way over. And in terms of the question earlier, if you now run the treasury rules, it should put it at 250. So smack bang in the middle of 200 and 300. Now, just because it's a live demo and it's the kind of thing one should do, I'll show you how to actually set a... Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the editor. So extensions, app script. This takes me into the embedded code. So you can't, just note, you can't actually access this file anywhere. You can also have loose script files. That confused us for a while, but an embedded one is not accessible. So you see all of your code here. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to set the treasury function to run, just to give you an idea of how that would work. Do treasury is the very well-named function. I can set a timer it's going to go every 12 hours. I click save. So there's another way to basically do cron type things. And now that function gets called every 12 hours. So every 12 hours, it's going to auto balance my account. And if I change my spreadsheet rules, it will auto balance to that rule. So I'm just going to go back into the editor just to show you guys around. I think I do treasury sits over here. So you can have different files and you can see all the code afterwards if you want and play around. So if I run that, you get a little console. It's transferring 100 Rand, no error. So that all looks good. So that actually worked. It takes the Investic core. I call it a mainframe system. I think only half ingest. I don't know if there's an actual mainframe somewhere, but it takes it about a minute to update balances. But that's gone through. It'll auto balance, and if we refresh transactions just now, then we should see it's 100 Rand less. Thanks, Wayne. Cool. That's the end of demo. I'll share the code afterwards. But are there any questions? Thanks,
I just wanted to try that cricket thing. Sorry.
That's very awkward, Nick.
Sorry, mate.
So please give it like 30 seconds before you do the cricket. That was just weird.
Sorry. My finger was there.
So just for fun, and because you guys stayed till the end and everything, there's your very own dodgy spreadsheet. I think the permissions should work. So if you want to make a copy, then and you want to live dangerously, you can just stick API credentials in there and it should work. If you want to be more sane, maybe just scan through that JavaScript first before sticking in your bank access into a random spreadsheet that a guy on the internet gave you, because it's really not going to sound good when you explain to your partner what happened with their money.
Okay.
Cool. Any questions?
Anything?
Does it all make sense? Cool. If anyone's got some ideas, please do shout. Some of the ideas today, I thought you could actually probably retrofit, use that code as sort of a hacky blueprint, and definitely Brad's idea, I think, would just straight up run on that. So cool. Yeah, thanks very much, Peeps. Really appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and well done to Milan, to Lofty, to Peter, to Aretha, to Shannon. Great job, guys, building that out. It really was cool. And thank you for just sharing that journey with us. That was cool.
Yeah, thanks very much, everyone. It was super fun. It was a really fun project. I can highly recommend asking any of that team to do a thing. It was super fun.
So hold on. So I'm sharing the wrong screen here. Let me just finish this up. I'll give you guys a quick view of what we have planned for the hackathon for this quarter. So I'll give you some quick details. But first, let me just post this. Guys, we tried Butter out tonight for the very first time. We came across some bugs, but again, this was based on feedback that you guys gave us in the past events, that you guys said, no, you're exhausted from Zoom, let's try something a bit different. So we're trying out some things that are a bit different. So we really love your feedback. We would love to get some more feedback around you guys. And then I'll also pick out some people who give us some feedback to win some more exclusive swag. So there's another way for you guys to get some swag too, if you want. So we'd really love to get your feedback around there. The link is in the chat if you want to just take a look at it. But on to the big ass news. So the big news is that we're starting, we're announcing the whole hackathon, the board event for this quarter tomorrow. It will be open for you guys. What do you need to do? Well, how it works? Well, it launches on tomorrow. It closes, the submissions close on the 3rd of December. And then, of course, we announce the winners on the 9th of December at our last meetup for this quarter, for this year. We also suggest that you guys keep the team sizes to 1 to 5. It's just a whole recommendation, because more than 5, we've kind of found from past board events that when it gets bigger, the guys just, it's a better sort of product that you guys build out when 1 to 5 sort of people. And of course, there's loads of cash to win, the exclusive swag for everyone who submits a board thing. So all your problem solutions, little boards, these proof of concepts that you guys all came up with today, that you can quickly just board out. If you submit that, hey, you're getting some cash, we're getting some exclusive swag stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. What will you need to submit? Is essentially a solution that helps a company that uses the transfer API. So exactly what we've been doing now, just chatting about that. He also submits your open source code, and then also maybe a 2-minute video or demo of how this thing actually works. And then just a description, problem, benefit, solution, and we'll have a template for you to just fill in saying, what is this about? Can I explain it, how it actually works? So how do you get involved? Well, one, because the transfer, the API, the access to it is still early beta, you just need to submit that form or fill in that form. Just give us your name, let us know that you want to get that or activated on your account, and we can sort that out for you immediately. Then also, you guys should have all received a little email from Investec. It looks like this. I don't know if I point left or up or down, but if it looks like that, you should have gotten it, and that's your invite to a tool that we are trying to test out to capture all these cool ideas, and it can have one sort of space for you rather than just putting it into a Google Sheet and kind of forgetting about it and putting it into GitLab later on. This would actually be able to capture all of that and all the cool ideas that you guys are doing and submitting. So there's that. If there's any problems that you guys have, so those are 2 ways. So one, just say that you want to get this just activated, and just click on the link in that email that you should have already received to get access to go and submit those details before the 3rd of December. If there's any problems, please again feel free to just email me at community-investec. I'm happy to help. And then also we'll be announcing, all the hackathon news will be in the Slack group, in the channel. The Hack Programmable Banking Q4. I will give more details about that, but it is there if you look for it or search for it in the or Opposite Swag at the moment. But I will announce everything tomorrow morning. But if you have any problems, any things, if you want to keep up to date on the hackathon, that's the channel to be in. Cool. Any questions about that, guys? Are you happy about that? Not so kind of. Cool. Just a quick little poll, because I'm trying to test out these poll things. So I'd really love to get your view. Are you excited to give this a try? Are you excited to build something else? Or do you need some more details around it? It's going to run the same way as we ran the hackathon, just a few more tools, getting a little more slicker, kind of based on your feedback. So if you're keen to kind of let us know, that'll be cool.
Are there no anonymous polls?
I think this is anonymous. Is this not anonymous? Oh, sorry, apologies. I thought this was anonymous polls, but it can be anonymous polls.
Okay, we're trying to catch out all the people that are negative. Is that the trick?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we're hunting them down, we're taking them out, and then there's no more negative reviews.
Now everybody's going to vote yes. This is a loaded poll. I'm just saying.
Yeah, look, if you got to stand up for your stuff, if you're not willing to put your name at the back of your convictions, then really, it's not a conviction. But it's cool. But clearly, the guys need more details. That's perfectly cool. We'll give more details. This is just a quick little view, a quick little synopsis of what you can expect. I'll be just piling and phoning you guys and contacting you guys, and we're going to have some cool things in the leading up. So it opens tomorrow. It closes on the 3rd of December. We announce the winners on the 9th of December, who will then give a quick little demo and then a quick little show. And I'll tell the guys ahead of time that they're shortlisted, so prepare for a demo. And then I'll announce the winners on the day. So it's pretty straightforward. But guys, thank you very much. Clearly, we're very excited. Clearly, we'll give some more details. Thank you very much for the feedback around that.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time. Our next meetup is on the 9th of December. I'll give you guys all the details as like usual. But guys, I really love the passion that you guys have shown. And thank you very much for your time. And I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
Cheers,
Awesome.
everyone.
Cheers,
Bye.
cheers. Bye.